मुझे एक्चुअली रखना है, पर देखो मेरी सॉरी माता जी, मैं थोड़ा पैर पे बैठी हूँ, बहुत टायर्ड हो गई हूँ आज। What is it you have to sit now only?
Yeah.
Shrestha, she wants to sit with you. Is it okay or no? Come back and wait. माता जी, विजिता माता जी, वापस आ रहे हैं। Sit on the mat, Arika. Arika, sit on the mat.
ये भेजा
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपदाय वरदे श्रीमते भगवतीनाथ स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रसादे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्यारदास श्री रघुवीरदास श्रीवासदि
ये भेजा
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
स्वामी हरे हरे
राम 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 हरे हरे
Gaurav Shrinath, we are all
fortunate to have divine association of Sundar Sham Prabhu. Prabhu is a very senior devotee. He's gone to Brahmacharya for almost 2 decades. Prabhuji is serving in New Long Island recently. And before that, Prabhuji is from Bangladesh. Prabhuji was, when Prabhuji came with us, he was singing some Bengali bhajan so sweetly. So we thought we can hear from Prabhuji and also get Prabhuji's guidance. Yeah. Thank you. I have my phone, Prabhuji. So we can pull up this bhajan. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. Or whichever one you want. Or any other bhajan.
Guru Puja has on Sunday.
Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. Pada.
Right here.
Almost every day he used to listen these books. Because I don't know what is actually, because if you listen to every line, everything mentioned there, what is actually desire should have when you're practicing devotion. After this version, we'll read actually translation, then you can understand why actually Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur listen to this every day, almost every day. And right before this departure from this world, he requested his disciple as Narayan Maharaj or Sridhar Maharaj. Actually, Sridhar Maharaj was his. He, I think also, Srila Prabhupada left his body.
No, this is Sri Rupa Manjari Pada.
So in the day of Vishnu drama, before Sri Saraswati Thakur was beginning body, I remember that.
Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, yes.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Actually,
We spoiled the tune for you. Very sorry.
you can. Yeah, actually, this is unbelievable. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he liked to listen to this tune.
Very beautiful, Prabhu, but apologize. Yes.
Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Semura Sampada. It is saying that the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure.
So Rupa Manjari.
My
Yes, Rupa.
Rose Goswami.
Actually, here it's mentioned Rupa Mandir means here mentioned actually Shri Rupa Mandir means Rupa is Rupa Goswami, Mandir means he is a associate of Manjari means what in Bengali and also Sanskrit Manjari means associate of they are direct incarnation of some gopis or something like this. Manjari.
They are my treasure. The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure, my devotion service, and my object of worship. They give my life meaning, and they are the life of my life. They are the perfection of rasa, they are the perfection worthy of attainment, they are the very law of the Vedic scriptures for me. They are the meaning of all fasts and penances and my silent uttering of my mantras. They are the basis of religion and activities. By purifying process of favorable devotional service, one will attain the perfection and with these two eyes be able to see. His transcendental form is shining like moonlight in my heart, and my heart therefore shines and reciprocates. In other words, the ordinary moonlights of the night and its shine illuminates other objects, but the moon of the effulgence of the form of Sri Rupa Manjari shines into the heart and makes the heart also shine back to the spiritual sky. This moonshine not only is the night time, but day and night. Your absence from my vision is like a dose of strong poison, and I will suffer till the end of my life. Narottam Das Thakur says, please give me your mercy and the shade of your lotus feet. Shri Rupa Manjari ki jai, Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. So we will have some katha. Amagyanatimirandasya Jnananandashalakaya Chakshuramilatamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapnantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagara Ravatatamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Vaishnava Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagara Udita Shri Vishakamatamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavadha Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurami Shri Radhe Vrindavameshwari Rishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Mancha Kalpatarubhisya Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So again, Prabhuji was here and we were discussing bhajans and Prabhuji was singing. So we thought once we hear this beautiful song of Sri Rupa Goswami, who is appeared as Sri Rupa Manjari, and Prabhuji is also hearing about the Goswamis. So we thought the topic that we were discussing about surrender, right, and about Ramayana, we will connect it to, for a Gaudiya Vaishnava, what does it mean to surrender? And who are these personalities? How is their life and teachings relevant for us in ISKCON as Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Very, very important for us. Right? So just to recap, last week we discussed surrender of Vibhishan. Right? So we were discussing how surrender is a day-to-day process, moment-by-moment process. That we see so many personalities in Ram Leela that we were hearing over the last couple of weeks when Maharaj was here. Right? Surrender of Guha, surrender of Hanuman, Maharaj was discussing. He discussed surrender of Shabri, where she didn't know when Ram will come. But every day was a moment of awaiting and surrendering to the instructions of her spiritual master. A surrender of Jatayu. He gave up his life for Ramachandra to save Sita. Surrender of Vibhishan, where he gave up his own relatives, friends, family, home, everything. Right? So, in that mood, they surrendered to Krishna. And we were discussing also how Krishna or Ramachandra had an impression of Vibhishan when Surpanaka first told about Vibhishan. So, the activities that we do, Krishna has an impression on us. Who is this person? What service is this person doing? And finally, when we surrender and meet Krishna face to face, he will remember all the impressions that he has developed based on our activities in how we have reciprocated with our spiritual masters, with our authorities, with service to Krishna. Then, last point we discussed was Vibhishan, when he was leaving. Very few people came with him. Only the four of those personalities. So when we leave, our stereotype path of living in this world to traverse the path of bhakti, very few friends, very few relatives can relate to us, can be with us as friends. Sometimes we feel like we're missing out on the but it is a part of our surrender. It is a part of taking the right step after so many millions of lifetimes. Durlabham Manusham Deha, right? We discussed that. Then finally, we were discussing this verse of Rupa Goswami, which is why even this bhajan we sang is so relevant. We were discussing that Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande Mana Manasa Madhukara Arpaya Nijapada Pankajam Makarande. How Rupa Goswami is singing. He is saying that the mood of surrender is how the mind, which is fickle with so many impressions, Mana Param Karanam Amananti Samsara Chakram Parivartam Yadyat. Avanti Brahman is saying that this mind is the reason why I have taken so many different births in so many different places with so many different desires, and Krishna has kept fulfilling many desires. But now we have to, with our intelligence, tell that this is my path. I want to give this one life to Krishna. And when we are on that path, right, then we can actually take the right step, and the mind becomes like a bumblebee after Krishna's lotus feet. So for a Gaudiya Vaishnava, for all these personalities we discussed so far in Ramayana, right, Ramachandra was their goal. The lotus feet of Ramachandra, that Guha wanted to sprinkle, that Shabri was setting the whole beautiful path for Ramachandra's lotus feet to arrive. All these personalities, and the surrender of Vibhishan was to attain the lotus feet of Ramachandra in Saket Dham. But for us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, right, following this very wonderful parampara that we have, right, what is the mood of our acharyas? What should be our mood? What should be the mood of our surrender? Where should our mind be focused on? Whose lotus feet? What is that dust? Vina Mahat Pada Rajobhishekam. Without getting the dust of the pure devotees who guide us to the dust of Radha Krishna, we have no hope. So what is the actual path that we want to take? Right? And Prabhuji was discussing, right, about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Right? He used to listen to this bhajan so often. And during his last days, when there was a very nice kirtaniya also who would come to sing, he would say, no, I don't want to hear a very nice tune. I want to hear this from the mouth of a pure devotee, from the mouth of my disciples, of Bhakti Vriksha Maharaj. He would sing this. And he would listen to this last days, last 24 hours. This was the last bhajan that he heard and he meditated on.
Not 24 hours. Right before that.
Even before also, yeah.
Right? Just when he starts singing the bhajan, and he was really just close his eyes and
Meditated on.
And he was singing in the trap. He was singing and he was crying.
He's crying, yeah.
Everybody was crying, but they still continued singing.
Yeah.
That was very common.
So Rupa Goswami's mercy, and Prabhupada also writes in the introduction and intro of instruction that our Krishna consciousness movement that we have is orchestrated under the supervision of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami is the supervisory personality who is the one who has paved this way of Krishna consciousness for us. So what does it mean? Right? So how can we actually understand this? So Narottam Das Thakur has what we chanted just during Mangalacharan. He says, Sri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam. Sri Chaitanya, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mana, his mind's abhishtam. Abhishtam is his innermost desire of the mind, of his heart. He wanted to establish Mahaprabhu. That was established by Sri Rupa Goswami, Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. To establish that on this earth, Rupa Goswami has appeared. Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. When will I get the dust of the lotus feet of the mercy of Sri Rupa Goswami? So if you see, Prabhupada, before Prabhupada came here to the West, where did he go? He went to Radha Damodar temple, which was the Bhajan Kutir and the Samadhi place of Rupa Goswami. Right in front of, right now recently when we went to Vrindavan, it is all covered by a big temple. Before it was an open courtyard where you could actually see the Bhajan Kutir of Rupa Goswami right there, right in front of the window of Srila Prabhupada as he would translate this first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where he would prepare to come to the West. He would cry to Rupa Goswami, Rup Sanatan, I want your mercy. At night, he would sweep the courtyard and he would cry, give me that mercy. my Guru Maharaj has given me a very heavy instruction, and that instruction is very, very difficult to hold. And I want to fulfill this because that's the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. And one day he was smiling. He saw the Rup Sanatana appeared there in that courtyard, and they gave him blessings that our blessings are with you. Please go to the Western world. And Prabhupada makes the arrangements to come to the West here. So, what is the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami? Right? So that's very important for us to understand, because our surrender is in this line of us being Rupanugas. We are Rupa Anuga, followers of Rupa Goswami. Right? Vaishnava is devotee of Vishnu. Karsna is a devotee of Krishna. Gaudiya is a devotee of Srimati Radharani. So we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And what Srimati Radharani's team we are a part of, right? Serving Krishna through Srimati Radharani. So we know the story of Divan of Bharatpur. When he came to Radhakund, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was there with his associates, and he was doing parikrama of Radhakund, and when his disciples appreciated, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said there is a big difference in his vision and our vision. He is circumambulating so he can get the mercy and shelter of Krishna. So his Ishta is Krishna, and because Radharani is related to Krishna, he is taking mercy of Radharani so he can become a servant of Krishna. But for us, we are Gaudiyas. We are followers of the footsteps of Srimati Radharani. We are in her camp. And because she has a relationship with Krishna, we deal with Krishna. If not for us, Krishna doesn't matter. It is Srimati Radharani who matters. And for that Srimati Radharani, her dearmost associate, like Prabhuji was describing, Manjari, of dearmost Manjari of Srimati Radharani is Rupa Manjari. So that Rupa Manjari, right? Manjaris are especially those associates of Srimati Radharani who can be in the innermost, like, sanctum of Radha Krishna's most intimate Madhurya pastimes. So that connection that Rupa Goswami has with Srimati Radharani, as Krishna comes to taste in the bhav and the roop of Srimati Radharani, Radharani is very dear associate. Rupa Goswami has appeared, whose Rupa Manjari has appeared as Sri Rupa Goswami. So we sing during Tulsi Aarti, right? Moraya Bhilash Vilash Kunja Diyamash Nayane Ribo Sada Jugala Rupadasi. So I want to have darshan. E Nivedhana Koro. Sakhi Anugatya. What is that Sakhi Anugatya, the followers? That is, so the orchestration is by Vrinda Devi. So if you, like for a movie, right? The director, the casting director, Yasraj Productions, right? Yasraj. The director who casts is the permission of Vrinda Devi. But in that, what is my service? What is our service as Gaudiya Vaishnavas? That is under the jurisdiction of Rupa Manjari. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nindanti Pulakotkarena Vikasandeepa Prasuna Chavim Prodvi Kritva Bhujadvayam Hari Hari Ticharvadantamuhu. He would be horripilating with crying tears of love, dancing, and his hair would stand on end. He would be rolling on the ground in ecstasy. He is practically electrocuted with the electricity of the love of Srimati Radharani. So when a person is being electrocuted, right, so we know that so much of high voltage of power, when it is going through, the person cannot talk, cannot comprehend, cannot actually teach. Mahaprabhu came to taste this Radha Bhav. Prema rasa ninyasa korilo aswadana raga marga bhave loke karilo pracharana. So to give this to everyone in the mood of prema rasa ninyasa karilo aswadana, so to taste the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, Mahaprabhu appeared. So Mahaprabhu didn't write all these books, because for us in Bhakti Shastri, right, out of the 4 books, 2 books are books written by Rupa Goswami, which are the nectar of instruction and
Nectar of
devotion, which is Upadeshamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So what Rupa Goswami gave is Rupa Goswami being the medium of the desire and instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what we can not ever get through this path of Madhurya Bhava, right? Neham Virenchana Bhavo na Shrirapyanga Samshayah. So neither does Shivji, nor does Brahma, nor does Lakshmi Devi, nor does Narada Muni also get this. Unless they get the actual association, mercy of the one who is tasting it, who is living it. It has to be transferred from one person's heart to our heart. You cannot become a big scholar and get this. Right? When Narada Muni, when he learned that Krishna has appeared, he went to Vrindavan. He was looking for this Radha Krishna's pastimes, Rasalila pastimes, but he could not see anything. When he came, Vrinda Devi appeared. And she said, in this body you cannot. So he had to go to Kusum Sarovar. He had to get the body of Naradiya Gopi. Transcendental body, which is the body of a Sakhi. In that mood, because as a male body, as a Purusha, with that ego, with that, you cannot enter. Even when in Kailas, when the flute of Krishna resounded through Kailas, when the meditation of Shivji was broken, he went, but he could not get entrance in. So, when he did tapasya on the banks of Yamuna, who appears? Vrinda Devi appears. And she asks him to go and dip in Manas Ganga. In Manasi Ganga, when he dips, he gets the body of Gopeshwar. Gopeshwar Mahadev is still there. So, unless even these personalities need this connection, so without this, it is impossible. You may be the biggest scholar. You may know entire Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad, it doesn't matter. Unless it is transferred from the heart of one person to your heart. Right? And for that, who has come to establish that? When we will not get into the whole biography of Rupa Goswami, you can read that. Right? How him, 5 brothers, they came from Saraswat Brahmin family in Karnataka, they moved to Bangladesh. And then Ramakeli, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were Dabir Khan, Sakar Malik, finance minister and prime minister. And then they completely were surrendered to Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu said, you have a specific reason. I came to Ramakeli just for both of you. With so much humility, they with blade of grass in their mouth. Mahaprabhu said, stop your humility. I cannot bear to see the humility that you have. Krishna will very soon release you from the jurisdiction of Nawab Hussain. And then the long story where then Rupa Goswami leaves with his brother Anupam, and then they go to Dashashwamedha Ghat in Prayag. And there for 10 days, what Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami becomes the basis of what we are studying to follow this path of Raganuga and of Sadhana and Raganuga Bhakti. I was hearing one section of Amarendra Prabhu and he was describing that like a gymnastics, he gave this example, and I thought it's a very nice example. That so when you are watching Olympics, right, so this person, right, he's wearing the right attire, right socks, and there is this gymnastics stick, board. So they're running, they come, they put their hand, they make all those flips and they land. Bas, nahi, ho gaya. A person who sees, they say, what is the big deal? Okay, you just jump and you roll and you stand. It is not such a big deal, right? You can see it, you can do it probably. But if you try to do it, how easy is it? Right? How many years of practice has it taken? How much of science is there? The center of gravity of the person, how he does, how he lands, every single minute detail is perfectly orchestrated with perfect scientific way on approach. So similarly, when we see that Mahaprabhu is singing, he's dancing, he's rolling in ecstasy, bhakti is not that. Bhakti is the inner transformation of one's heart in pure love for Krishna, which is exploding within the heart. And that explosion inside shows externally through this Ashta Sattvika Vikaras, through tears flowing from the eyes, through hair standing on end, through rolling in ecstasy, through horripirating, through body color. So many of these external things are a symptom of one's actual bhakti. If one thinks, oh, even I will also cry, I will also roll, I will also dance, then I will. No, that is an external symptom of this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives an example, like a lady who is pregnant. When a lady is pregnant, she is shouting with labor pain. Right? And she is shouting with labor pain and then she delivers the baby. So if a person says, oh, उतना ही, ठीक है, मैं भी चिल्लाऊंगी, तो आ जाएगा एक बच्चा. And you imitate और ऐसे चिल्लाएंगे, labor pain का चिल्लाने से थोड़ी deliver होगा. तो अंदर से बच्चा होना चाहिए. It is a scientific process by which the child has developed and gone through 9 months inside, ready to come out, and उसका symptom है उसकी चिल्लाना. तो अगर कोई ऐसे चिल्लाएगा, थोड़ी होगा. So many sahachiyas would do that. They would imitate. अरे इतना ही है. Maybe बहुत बड़ा संत हो, maybe महाप्रभु हो, like so many like personalities, or even otherwise a person who does not understand the science of this gymnastics will say, अरे बस इतना ही करना है, मैं भी कर सकता हूँ. देखना easy है, but that transformation and the practice takes years of practice to come to a point when spontaneously ये दौड़ के पूरा वो gymnastic कर लेगा वो. So similarly, when Mahaprabhu was electrocuted with the current of Krishna Prema, right, that is what devotees would see, people would see, and he would infuse everyone with so much love for Krishna. But he was so electrocuted that he could not give the proper signs. He did not have that ability because of what he came to taste. So he used the medium of Rupa Goswami. Who is Rupa Manjari? Srimati Radharani is very dear associate. The fountainhead of all the Manjaris, whose line and parampara that we are following. Narottam Das Thakur who sang this, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Balle Vijda Bhushan, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, all of these personalities. Right? And what Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa Goswami and put the dust of his lotus feet on the head of Rupa Goswami. And that translated, he said, I am giving only one drop of this vast nectarian ocean of Krishna Prema. And that one drop he made into an ocean. Bhakti Rasamrita. Sindhu, ocean. And then other devotees, like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, would comment on that. Bhakti Rasamrita, Sindhu, Bindu. Then the continuation of these rasas, the primary rasas, secondary rasas, those interactions, everything that's described, what happens to pure devotee? What are the things that are going on in the spiritual world beyond prema? All of that in Ujjvala Nilamani. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Ujjvala Nilamani, Kiran. So giving more commentaries on that. So all of these books that Vidagdha Madhav, Lalita Madhav, Upadeshamrita, all these things where he's systematically giving us to us so that we can learn this process of how we take up the process of bhakti. Step by step by step by step. So that we can practice and gradually get purified. And when we come to that stage, then one needs the association of a person who is tasting it, who is living it. And then that's why in our parampara, if you see, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Kamala Manjari, right? Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada, Nayana Mani Manjari, Kusuma Manjari, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Rati Manjari, Raghunath Das Goswami, Guna Manjari, like so many of these personalities who were associates of Srimati Radharani, they were sent in this parampara. And what is our hope? So the reason is now, whom do we actually surrender our minds to? Whose lotus feet? Right? And that was the topic here. And actually, if you think about it, even Krishna's dearest friends, right? Even they had to come in connection with the gopis of Vrindavan before they could taste this. Because what? Even Rupa Goswami's verse that is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anarpita Charim Chiram Karunati Vakalo, Samarpaitam Unnatojjvala Swabhakti Shriyam, which is very, very special. I was hearing recently when Devakinandan Prabhu, he was speaking, and he said that in human life, first when a person takes on a human form, for 100 lifetimes he'll be a Nastika. Nastic. Then for the next 100 lifetimes, this is from the writings of Bhakti Vriksha, that person will be Ganesh Bhakta. He will follow Ganesha, Vignevanashaka Ganesha. Then 100 lifetimes, that person will follow Durga Devi, Kali Devi, Durga Devi, Shakta he becomes. Then for next 100 lifetimes, he becomes a Shaivite, following Shivji. And then he comes to Krishna Bhakti. By the mercy of a devotee, maybe even earlier. But generally it takes many, many hundreds of lifetimes, even in a human body.
500 lifetimes is all.
Minimum, right? Unless he falls down in the middle, right, and becomes something else. Bahunam janmanavante jnanavan mam prapante vasudeva sarvamiti. To come to the point of vasudeva sarvam. But you have many others also who believe them also the Hindu temples, right? Where they are all assault. When I was, after I took a bath in the morning, I would have towel around me, small child I would come. Then my mother in the kitchen, small container, small place, they would be like all different devatas, Krishna, everyone. So I would ask, Mummy, whom should I worship? She said, everyone. I said, okay. I said, no, it's too much. I said, she said, pick one. I said, okay, I like Krishna. I picked one. My brother picked one. So generally it is assortment, right? Itna sara candy, so you can pick one like that.
You don't want to upset anyone.
Yeah, I don't want to upset anyone. So, but even if you want to worship everyone, you cannot, because there are how many devatas? 33 crore devatas. So even one day one devata will not finish anyway. So anyway we will not be upsetting, we will be upsetting someone. So rather what are the root? Yata taror moola nisechanina traptyanti. That's Skanda puja. Traptyanti. Everybody will be satisfied. Right?
What are the root?
Right. So even Krishna's dearmost friends, right? In friendship there are different levels. Right? One level of friendship is Mitra. Is friend. A person who is heart-to-heart connected with a person, and a person who is harmoniously connected to a friend. Means ये नहीं कि आगे से friend है, पीछे जाके इसके बारे में बोल के और चुगली करके दोनों के बीच में नहीं. He is actually like harmony connected. We have it. So harmoniously one who is connected is a mitra. There is bandhu, which is next level. Bandhu means जो बंधा है, बांध लिया है उसका हृदय दूसरा हृदय के साथ. So very dear friend. Bandhu is one who only thinks about good of the other person. Even if I am not getting anything in return, no problem, I will do that. Then comes Sahrad. Sahrad means a deeper connection, very deep connection. Sahradam sarva bhutanam, Krishna says. Last verse of 5th chapter. Bhoktaram iktasam sarva loka maheshwaram Sahradam sarva bhutanam Jnatva shanti vrikshati. It's a peace formula. So Krishna says Sahrad means very, very deeply heart-to-heart connected, which is true, because Hridyesh Arjuna Tishtati, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, Krishna is present, Sarvasya Chaham, Krishna so Krishna is present in the heart, so he has a heart connection, of course. When I say, oh, heart connection, I love you, that love is different from this love that Krishna is exhibiting, because in my matrimony also, right, I say, मुझे ऐसे लड़की चाहिए, जिसके अंदर ये सुशीलता है, ये गुण है, रूपवती हो, ये हो, वो हो. Means, I want all of this. If you can provide this for me, please apply. Means, not that whoever you are, I will selflessly, no. These are my requirements. I like to watch cricket. Means, cricket match, the vision of that on my mind and my eyes is feeling very nice. I love fish fry. Means I don't love fish. I love how it tastes on my tongue. Even if it dies. So people say, means that love is Atmendriya Priti. Dhare Bal Kham. Krishnendriya Priti, Dhare Premanam. So Krishnendriya means the gopis. Actually when you read 47th chapter of Brahma Gita, of 10th canto, Radharani is talking, we were talking about the beast, right? Manamanasa Madhukara Arpita Nijapada. So when she sees a bumblebee, and this section, Deenabandhu Prabhu was speaking in Vrindavan when I was in Vrindavan a few years back, and in that place where Uddhav meets the gopis, and when he started talking about bumblebees, an actual bee came. We saw, we were all surprised, we were all sitting next to Deenabandhu Prabhu. It went circulating around him and sat on him, and he's looking at the bee and he's speaking about the bee. So ecstatic, so amazing, so magical. Vrindavan is like that. Vrindavan Ramyasthana, Divya Chintamani Dham, you don't know who these personalities are. And Radharani is speaking to the bee. And Radharani is telling, oh, you must have been sent by Krishna. And Krishna is also like you. Just like from one flower you take madhu. And and then you will go away to another flower and another flower. So you were there with us, now you left us. Now you went to enjoy with the other queens of Dwaraka. So you must be doing this. तुम्हारा दिल और उसका दिल दोनों एक ही है. वो मधुसूदन है, तुम मधुसूदन हो. The bee. So for the gopis it doesn't matter whether Krishna puts them yatha tatha va vedadatu lamtato. You embrace me or you reject me. You trample me or you accept me. Whatever you do. Mat prananathas. Prananatha. Mahaprabhu would use this word. Prananath. Very much from his heart during the Rath Yatra time also in Jagannath Puri. So that is the mood of what these gopis, these manjaris, they came to exhibit for us. So, more than suhrid is sakha. Saha khadate iti means जिसके साथ बैठ के खाना खाएंगे या एक ही प्लेट में खाएंगे या साथ में खाएंगे. जैसे कृष्ण सुदामा. कृष्ण स्यासीत सखा कश्चित ब्रह्मणो ब्रह्मवित्तमा विरक्त इंद्रियश्चेसा प्रशांतात्मा जितेंद्रियः. So कृष्ण आसीत सखा कश्चित. कोई एक सखा था कृष्ण का. उसका नाम था सुदामा. ब्रह्मवित्तमः. ब्राह्मणों में से सबसे श्रेष्ठ था वो. And virakta indriyascha, virakta indriya. He was completely detached from sense gratification. Prashantatma, अंदर से बहुत प्रशांत था. जितेंद्रिया, completely self-controlled. Sakha. Arjuna also sakha. Bhaktosi ne sakha cheti. Bhagavad Gita. Rahasyam idam uttamam. Krishna saying, I am giving you this very secret of Bhagavad Gita because you are my dear friend, Sakha. He would sleep on Krishna's thighs. He would walk with Krishna hand in hand. Even before the Kandavana forest, they were there in the garden, chilling, sitting together, just with such loving friendships. I remember. Anyway, that's a different topic. But early on, when I came to America, right? So I think I will tell this later. Anyway, so Krishna and Arjuna, of course, that was Dwapar Yuga, so pure. Kali Yuga, everything has become so polluted, contaminated. Even externally, something which is very pure is taken as very contaminated. Radharanjan Prabhu was a dear pujari, right? And he taught me how to dress Gaurnika. That was 20 years ago when I newly came to America. And him and I were good friends. We would stay in the same ashram, next room and everything. So one day we went to Walmart. Right? So we went to Walmart. He's Bengali devotee, very sweet devotee. And while going to Walmart, he was putting his hand around me and holding my hand. Then I said, Prabhuji, aise mat. Krishna, the mood is so sweet. Sakhya bhava is there. But Kali Yuga is a different. So although the mood and we are just friends. मेरे यार जो ऐसे जो मूड होता है ना इंडिया में तो now it is the vision has become so polluted. But actually Mahabharata, when I was reading that section, it was so sweet. Actually when you read how Arjuna and Krishna, how they are there with each other, how they are lying on each other's, Arjuna is like lying on Krishna's lap, just like a lover, right, with somebody else. But the Sakhya Bhava is so thick. Ittam Sakham Brahma Sukhanubhutya. Bhagavatam describes Krita Punya Punja. Sakam Vijahra. After so many lifetimes of so many pious activities, these cowherd boys of Krishna are able to dance with Krishna, sing with Krishna, sit on Krishna's shoulders, able to steal each other's lunch boxes and so much in Sakhya Bhava. But for those Sakhas who are in this material world, when Krishna comes to perform the Leela, whether it's Arjuna, whether it is Sudama, or even Uddhava, who is Krishna's own cousin, Vishninam Pravaro Mantri, Krishna's Dahita Sakha, very dear friend. Uddhava Buddhisatamaha, Sakshat Brihaspati Shishyaha. He was the disciple of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the of the Devatas. So how much knowledge will he have? But Krishna's own cousin brother, he looks like Krishna also. He wore the dhoti, golden dhoti, like how Krishna wears when he went to Vrindavan. But for him also, because he did not have the prema of Vraja Bhakti, the Parikiya Bhava, the Prema Bhakti and the Madhurya, for that Krishna had to send him to Vrindavan, so that he had to come in touch with the Brajvasis. And when he became a messenger, he came in connection with them. Then he realized what is their level of bhakti. And now we can give pravachan for so long, we can hear so much. But unless one is favored by an eternal associate of Krishna, one cannot get this infused within one's heart. So, that is the goal of a Gaudiya Vaishnava. How will I become the foot dust of the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari, who is the head of all of the Manjaris, who is the head of our Parampara, whose line we are Rupanugas, and without which we cannot. And even Uddhava asamaho charinarenu jushamaham syam vrindavane kimapi gulmala taushadinam, koi bhi ek gulmala taushadi, ek chota sa ek khad, a blade of grass, one medicinal herb, something, so that I can get the foot dust of a gopi on my head. Who is saying this? Krishna's own cousin brother, friend, Vrishni's big mantri, Brihaspati's foremost of the disciples. He has now gotten to the point, because anybody who has even 1/10,000th or 1/zillionth of his knowledge will be so proud. Who will want to be a blade of grass? But when he understands the mood of the gopis and what kind of prema that they harbor within their heart, and that can only be gotten when one comes in touch with a personality who is actually having that in one's heart. And that is the actual wealth of this parampara. Because sometimes we think, अरे ठीक है इधर भी भक्ति है, हाँ ठीक है उधर भी भक्ति है, ठीक है राधा स्वामी उधर भी थोड़ा भक्ति है, ठीक है इधर भी कुछ स्वामी नारायण में भी कुछ होगा, या थोड़ा इधर भी दूसरा, so many other lines, right? But where is that line of personally Mahaprabhu's own parshads who have come? Something that cannot be gotten even by the greatest of the Devatas. Something that even like Brahma, Sukha, Narada, Shivji are also hankering for. That is actually given to the most unqualified. And just even out of this whole hearing this beautiful bhajan of Rupa Goswami, at least if I can get some kind of a realization that what has been given to me, to the current parampara, through the current acharyas, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada never revealed who he is, because then it becomes very cheap. Everybody will start very cheaply revealing. But we know Senapati Bhakta, very dear associate who came to spread this all over is Prabhupada. And we are in Prabhupada's movement. Somebody who is so dearly connected, who has the backdoor entry. If we even can get to minutely understand what good fortune, we will take our bhakti more seriously. I'm telling myself. Then we will understand what it is to be a dust of the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami, of Srila Prabhupada, of our spiritual master. Because what they have offered, even if you get to millions of lifetimes of millions of heavenly planets in billions of universes, it is not available. It is very, 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 very rare. Parakiya Bhava. So, Brajera Prakash. So, this Bhava of Srimati Radharani. And being in her Parshada through Rupa Manjari. So, in that mood, whether it's Prabhupada, whether it's Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, the songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, whether it's Narottam Das Thakur, he ends the songs with Rupa Raghunatha Hoye. What Akriti? Jugala Priti. Jugala Priti. So, how will I get the Priti of Jugala Kishore? And we are getting mercy of Yugala Kishore Prabhu. By the mercy of Rupa Raghunath. So, at least we need to understand, right? Like, because we are Rupanugas. Had it not, and if you actually see all of these scriptures that we are studying, like Bhagavad Gita also, Right? Bhagavad Gita also has many hidden language of Krishna and Radharani. Right? Sarva dharma paricha mam ekam, my only Srimati Radharani. Vraja, go to Vraja Dham. Right? So it is there where Krishna is directing us to Vrindavan Dham for a Gaudiya Vaishnava. When we look, because when we read, it is through our glasses, Atmavan Manyate Jagat. Through our glasses, we should actually understand what is the goal through these scriptures. Through Bhagavad Gita, it is to surrender to Krishna, surrender to Srimati Radharani. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam, मेरी एक ही जो राधारानी है, शरण उसका शरण में ले लो, ब्रज धाम जाके. So that is the mood of Krishna for a Gaudiya Vaishnava. What is the mood of Bhagavatam? So that one spiritual master, disciple asked, मुझे दसम स्कंद पढ़ना है, 10th canto. So he said, no, read only 1 to 9. From 9 के बाद बोले 11. तो 11 पढ़े, 12 पढ़े, वापस अभी 10 बोले 9, first canto again. अरे हो गया ना, ठीक है, first canto, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 11th गुरु महाराज बोले. तो ठीक है, 11th पढ़े, 12th पढ़े, वापस first. तो ऐसे करते रहे, गुरु महाराज बोले नहीं 10th का ही पढ़ना है. तो फाइनली एक दिन आके बोले, गुरु महाराज बहुत बड़ा गलती हो गया, प्लीज माफ कर दीजिए, आई वेंट अगेंस्ट योर इंस्ट्रक्शंस. And Guru Maharaj said, what did you do? I said, रहा नहीं गया मेरा, 10वां पढ़ लिया, बहुत बड़ा गलती. बोला हाँ ठीक है, गुड, ठीक है. तो बोला जब तुम्हारा दिल के अंदर इतना भावना आ गया कि रह नहीं जाता है मेरा और पढ़ देते हो, then you are qualified to read 10th canto. So Prabhupada said you have to go in the sequential order, but then when you are qualified, Prabhupada said read systematically 1 to 9, then you can go to 10. So the reason we go to 1 to 9 is to get purified so that one can actually enter into Vraj Leela, Vraj Bhava. In the mood where gradually one can transition to making this a part of our sadhana, Leela Smaran. So that one day, Anta Kale Chamamana Smaran Muktva Kalevaram, when we are ready, we can have this Smaran of Vraj Leelas. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is tasting the mood of Srimati Radharani only in Vraj Leela. Nectar of instruction, also it ends with Radharani only. Karmipya Parava Hare Predaya Yaktimayo Stevya Jnani Paramas Premaika Nishtasasa Tevyam Pashupada Drishas Tebhyopi Shri Radhika. From Karma Kanda, Jnana, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, Prema, that Prema of the cowherd girls of Vrindavan, of the highest peak Srimati Radharani, Radha Kundyam, Gokulapati, Premamrita Plavana. So that it comes to Radharani's final abode. So all of these Bhakti scriptures are taking us there. Who can actually take us there? Vrinda Devi and Rupa Manjari. So that one day we can follow and become a part of their mercy. So again, just a parallel of how for different devotees they have their Ishta. For us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our Ishta is Radha Krishna through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, which is given by Sri Rupa Goswami. And what Rupa Goswami gave in Sanskrit, Chaitanya Prabhupada made it into baby food so that we can have it in English. Yeah, so.
But Prabhuji, the original book also is there, Bhakti Rasamrita.
Yes, yes. Yeah, but then it's very difficult. Somebody like Hari Parshad Prabhu, Amarendra Prabhu, somebody who was very Radhika Raman Prabhu, very good in Sanskrit, and they would be able to read this, I'm sure. But in the translations, yes. I remember I was in Manipal when I was spending some months, this is 2005 I think, 5 or 6, with Devamrit Prabhu. He's now Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. And he was studying Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. And I was with him in his room, and he was a big book. I was asking, Prabhuji, what is this book? Nectar of Devotion, he said. I said, that's a small book. He said, this is the original. And he was studying Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. He was not Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. Later I heard he became Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. So, yes, devotees study Upadeshamrita, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Ujjwal Neelamani.
Prabhuji, Ujjwal Neelamani is written by Jiva Goswami.
Rupa Goswami. after nectar of devotion, the continuation of Sneha, Rag, Mahabhav, all the different features of it. But again, that is beyond my pay grade. I don't do it. But
What is the meaning of Anuraga, Prabhuji?
Anuraga.
And what is the difference between Anuraga and Prema?
You can explain nice.
No. Krishna Prema is the final goal of from sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti. We go to Prema.
Oh, Prema.
After Prema starts the thickening of the milk even deeper. Then there is Sneha, Pranaya, Raga, Anuraga, Bhava, Mahabhav, Madanokya Manabhav, and this again. I can technical words. What's the point of using? So, but
Prema?
after Prema in the
After
spiritual
Prema.
world, all of the combinations of all of this sweetness of different devotees. Prabhupada said even the spiritual world there is perfect, there is more perfect, most perfect. There is different levels of even perfection in purity, in Shuddha Sattva. So, what are these different rasa exchanges of devotees with Krishna in the spiritual world is explained in Ujjwal Leelavati. So, one who is in the Madanakya Mahabhav state, which is Srimati Radharani, just like if one is angry, very angry, what color do they become? Green, right? Red color. Become red. So color automatically comes from that emotion. So one who is having that level of emotion automatically becomes which color? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, golden color. Now because Krishna, who is Krishna Varna, has now taken on the mood of Srimati Radharani. Once he takes on the mood, अगर हम गरम तवा में हाथ रखेंगे तो एक कलर होगा वो तो अभी वो तवा में हाथ रख लिया कृष्णा ने तो that mood of Srimati Radharani when he takes चैतन्याख्यम प्रकटम तद्वयम चैक्यमाप्तम राधा भाव नवमी द्युति स्वलितम नवमी श्री कृष्ण स्वरूपम. Now he has taken the complexion, the mood, the bhava of Srimati Radharani, and so he has become golden in color because anybody who has that bhava, nobody else can have it but Radharani. So that is the highest level, but other perfected devotees are in different levels. Right? Anuraga is, Raga is very deep and affection, and Anuraga is even deeper than that.
After Prema it comes.
And that's much after Prema. Yes. Anuraga Vishnu Priya, Mataji ki jai.
I think I'll take 1,000 lifetimes to even serve the name.
You already taken 1990 times.
यही है माताजी, यही वाला year है.
I get already from home.
Maharaj, you are very heavy name to a wrong person.
You are Dasi, you are not that. You are Anuraga Vishnu Priya,
Yeah.
Dasi.
That qualification also I don't have, Prabhuji, as I am saying, because that name is so heavy.
When you serve Gaur Vishwambhar, then you will then you will get the mercy. I said Gaur Vishwambhar, not that.
You're Das.
प्रभुजी मूड तो वही हो ना दासन
My question was like if you are serving through Radharani to get bhakti for Krishna, so there are some who is directly serving for Krishna. So also they are people, right?
So they are serving directly Krishna, right?
How they are getting
They are getting what?
bhakti?
No, see, in spiritual world, Prabhuji, it starts in Vaikuntha, right? Vaikuntha Janita Varamadapari Tatra Virasavatsava Vrindaranyadar Tatropi Govardhana. So it goes from Vaikuntha planets to all those Ayodhya and Saket Dham to Mathura and Nitya Mathura Dham, Nitya Dwarka Dham, Mathura Dham, then Vrindavan. In Vrindavan there are so many different planets. In Goloka Vrindavan also. In that, based on the mood that you worship Krishna, you will go to that specific place. Right? So if you are worshipping in Vatsalya, then you will go to a place where there is Vatsalya Bhava predominantly. For some sections of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and commentary in Saratha Dashini Tika, it's described, that's what I heard, that if you want Madhurya Prema, in that Parakya Bhava of the gopis, Kainkarya Bhavamekam, the Kinkaris, like how Prabhuji is saying, how the servants of the gopis and Radha Krishna, but they are facilitating the Milan and Vipralamba, the separation, and getting them together in Milan. So in that mood, if you want to serve, that is the unique offering of Gaudiya, Vaishnava Parampara that we have right now. Other worshippers of Krishna, if it's a bona fide parampara, they perfect themselves and get to prema, they will be worshipping Krishna in some planet based on wherever their bhava takes them. So it could be like Aishwarya Mishrit Madhurya, right? So where there is more reverence and respect and love also, both can be there. So they might be Mathura Dham, they may be like Sudama, right? So Sudama didn't go and get the bhava of Radharani's. But this bhava of Madhurya encompasses all the other bhava. Dasya has Dasya plus Shanta. And next, Sakya has Sakya, Dasa, Shanta. So Vatsalya. So in one sense, whichever bhava you are, if you go to spiritual world, you should just go. In one sense, right? It's not like I want to get ornamented, I don't want to be a blade of what? Uddhava wants to be a creeper in Kusum Sarovar. But I want to be right hand person of Radharani. Isse kam nahi chahiye hame.
I mean, we can aspire for that, but if we are getting entry into it, chalo, le lo ticket.
Our aspiration is I want to be the foot dust of Blue Bhagat Swami or my Guru Maharaj. However you take me, wherever you take me to another place, the material world also, I only want to serve you. That is the mode. Tamal Krishna Maharaj also had this dream, and even Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is calling him, Prabhupada is calling you there. So now when Prabhupada says, you become a pure devotee. Prabhupada says, I want Sukram Prabhu, I need your help in different planetary system in material world. I'm like, Prabhupada, please, what is the mood of the devotee, right? I want to be no, wherever you take me, I'm under your shelter. So that is the mood. But, of course, another devotee of Krishna might be worshipping in some other place. But it is true, what has been offered to us is not common. It is very, very rare. In billions of years, like once in a lifetime of Brahma, once in a day of Brahma, when Krishna comes, who's Swayam Krishna, Mahaprabhu comes, 48 years, and that in a few years later we are there here, right now. And Prabhupada, somebody as powerful as Prabhupada. So, the very least we should know is our position is very, very, very fortunate. It is very rare. And my little distraction to watch many reels, if I can't give it up, then I know what disservice I am doing to myself. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying that Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu durashayaya bahirartha maninaha means Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. जो विष्णु का भक्ति करते हैं वो सच में स्वार्थी है. हमें स्वार्थी बनना है. स्वार्थी means स्वार्थी. मेरा सच का अर्थ किधर है? Where is my real wealth? That wealth that I'm getting, I am letting that go because I'm not able to give up a movie. I'm not able to give up some shorts. I'm telling myself I'm not able to give up some material attachments, whatever it may be for a soul. That means I am not a स्वार्थी. दुराशय, अरे इतना दुर्भाग्य है, दुर्भाग्यवश क्या हो गया? बहिरर्थ मानिना. He is externally looking when he has gotten such an amazing wealth. So that should be the mood. Then Bhagavatam says that it becomes Vina Pashudghat. It's like a killer of the soul because the soul had the propensity to go to get something that he has never achieved even by being Indra or Brahma for millions of lifetimes. But now we have gotten it. So let us take it seriously. And but beyond that, wherever you take me, it's fine. So, but Haripasha Prabhu once mentioned that if one doesn't get to Raganuga stage and attains prema only on the stage of sadhana bhakti and doesn't get to Raganuga, then one might still go to Golok Vrindavan if you're in ISKCON, but you will be worshipping Radha Krishna in reverence in Golok Vrindavan. There is certain personified Vedas who worship Radha Krishna in one side of Golok Vrindavan. So ये नहीं Golok Vrindavan जा रहा हूँ मतलब मुझे वही मिल जाएगा. So anyway, that's a different topic. We will not get into sadhana, Vaidhi, Raganuga. That's a big topic in itself. But for us, rest assured, following the footsteps of our spiritual master, what vows we have taken, we follow that sincerely, we stay in the mood of trying to give up our anarthas, stay in the association, right? And in that chant the holy names sincerely. So that is Mataji.
Can I ask
Yeah,
one,
no doubt, Mataji.
one question, Prabhu?
And whatever I said is for me only. I am only struggling in this world. I must say, of great souls. We'll have to get some taste.
Prabhuji, like you said, I have also heard Haripashad Prabhu say, we have not even reached the Raganuga level. From then onwards, we have some hope. So I have a doubt. He's saying like that. But Prabhupada is saying you follow 4 regulative principles,
Yes.
you chant 16 rounds, you serve the Vaishnavas, I will take you back. Who is right,
We
Prabhu?
talked about this in Hebrews.
Who is?
Yes.
30 years. No,
You tell me about what Prabhuji said.
we were saying you cannot get in one lifetime, you cannot attain it. Some others probably of Maharaj was saying that one lifetime you cannot get it. In one lifetime is saying, but Prabhupada is saying that in the 1 years, one can attain Krishna Prema.
This time, Guru Jaipatak Maharaj also mentioned that during our initiation only, Mataji, he said that it took many years to get the taste.
Yeah, yeah. And it was
Bhakti-
recently again published that he spoke on June 4th in Atlanta that don't take another birth. Don't.
But it takes a few decades. The point is, Anartha Nivriti is a long process.
That is
But
very
not
specific.
long in the grand scheme. In one lifetime, what is 30 years? Vishwamitra Muni did tapasya for 60,000 years. And Menaka आ गई भंग हो गया. और उसके बाद और tens of thousands of years और क्रोध में मतलब for what? To become ब्रह्मर्षि. तो point is उसमें 30 साल क्या है? क्या बड़ा बात है? मतलब but it takes few decades.
Yeah, but
Srila Prabhupada, I heard this lecture in Mayapur. Whatever Srila Prabhupada mentioned, yes, it is 100% true. 100% true. There's no doubt that he will take us to go back to Godhead. 100%. But the question is there, how I am chanting. I have attachment to material things, or I have attachment to, like Prabhuji mentioned, I have attachment to Krishna. Still, I have attachment to material things, getting material stuff, then I will not go back to God. That is not Srila Prabhupada's fault, that is my fault. So during our practice with devotion, actually what will happen? If we chant, if we not chant actually properly, then anartha definitely will be there. It will not go away. So we are practicing devotion to give up our anartha. So first thing we have to, what is the
Haripashad.
no, I am talking about this. No, it's very simple. From Bhakti Vriksha. What is the
Anyavilashi darshan.
now last question? That's it. If we are able to get these verse, forget about the all scripture. Even Haridas Thakur, he was scholar. He has anything else? Only just accept Holy Name. He just continuously did it. Srila Prabhupada says, okay, no problem. You are not able to quote scripture, just maintain orality. I'll do. So that actually we have to understand during chanting how I am chanting. What is my chanting quality? So when I am chanting, I'm thinking about Vishay, or I'm thinking about Krishna's service. Actually, I heard every day রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা পাওয়া এই অভিলাষ। রাধা কৃষ্ণ সেবা পাওয়া এই I am desiring to worship Radha Krishna, but when I get out from work, I forget everything. So who is alive? I forget everything. So very simple.
We should not focus on whether I will go back, when. Nothing. Focus on
Srila
every day how do I.
Prabhupada even never taught so many things. Even if you say, most of the time he speaks only from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Gita. Most of the time. If you see in his lecture, he never ever also think Chaitanya. Very rare. Because that's what he needs. Chanting and continuing. No other way to do it. Ashtam. Just Srila Prabhupada. Yes. He hasn't used his directly from Krishna. He is Krishna's person. More this is mentioned. So, like we don't have to have doubt. Like if we have doubt, then we are actually losing our test. Especially I can say from my experience how Krishna, how Guru actually saved one disciple and his followers. Krishna. I can do this myself. So just do chanting wherever you are. It doesn't matter you're not you still waiting for getting this initiation from Guru. Chant as much as you can chant, but chant with your loving affection to Krishna, with your heart. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Kevalam, Karunasthi Nasti, Nasti Vagatinam. 3 times. There is no other thing. In his example, okay, Mata. Guru and Krishna.
Prabhuji, on the same topic, even recently, Amrita Prabhu said, the Bhagavatam 12th canto, last verse, ends with japa. And then they started doing it.
জপিতে জপিতে নাম প্রেমাঙ্কুর হবে সাধ্য সাধন তত্ত্ব তলসী। It means I will remember that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, before he started preaching, what he did? He chanted. He chanted certain amount.
It says 1 crore, 3 crore something. Yeah.
3 crores.
1 crore, yeah.
So he buys a chanting for permission. And then he get out for
One video along with Amrita Prabhu's video. Basically, he was reading the Sanskrit of the section from Kali Sansaran Upanishad. You must have seen that video where Brahma and Narad Muni are having a conversation, and in that conversation, he talks about that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Shodasatakanam, Kalmashanashanam, Nata Paratarapaya. So Nata Paratarapaya Sarvedesha Dushyate. Kali Kalmashanashanam. So it removes the effect of Kali Yuga. Kali Doshan Vedadam Asti Ekamahakuna. Very good. It removes Kali Yuga's effect. How long? Prescribe. If you take this medicine, it will remove the disease fully. Antibiotic. So how many days dose? My Sevani had this little thing in the finger. They gave 10 days, 3 times antibiotic for little thing. I'm like, but doctor said this big liquid. So when Narada asks Brahma that what is the dose for this age, that time he says these many 3 crore names. And when Prabhuji broke it down into 3 crore names, मतलब अगर हम 16 माला करते हैं तो कितना दिन लगेगा? And पूरा math करने के बाद प्रभु जी went over Sanskrit of the whole thing and then he gave the breakdowns and then he said the breakdowns is if you chant 16 rounds. This is not to discourage devotees. Disclaimer. Chanting अगर 16 rounds करेंगे 54 years. 54 years you will be completely out of the modes of the material nature. Why are we taking next birth? Because we are affected by the modes of material nature. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थः. वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. तो मैथ का और बोलूँगा मैं. तो प्रभु जी बोले 54 years लगेगा 16 rounds करेंगे तो. But he said अगर आप 32 rounds करेंगे तो 29 years लगेगा. Approximately. 29. और बोले अगर 64 rounds करेंगे तो वो होगा 14 years. And Prabhuji used to chant 64 rounds. I know many devotees who chant 64 rounds. Doesn't mean 64 rounds. When I asked him this time, and he said, अभी तो परिस्थिति में हो 16 good rounds कीजिए और ये कीजिए. He gave me some advice. Prabhuji had come here. Prabhu, I asked Prabhuji like at some point, okay, I've been chanting for so many years. What should I do next, like that? And he gave me other instructions. But the point is, of course, spiritual master says 16 rounds. We can do 16 good rounds. That is most important. But to actually come out of the modes fully, to get rid of anartha nivritti fully, where when you get out of anartha nivritti, then it is like downhill. Going uphill is difficult. Then it is only sweetness, anandam, buddhivarjanam, pratipadam. Every step is so sweet. Whether we go to asakti, ruchi, bhava, these are only words. But in that mood, how much one has taste for sense gratification, hundreds of times more than that one will have taste for Krishna. So, say you have so much taste, like say there is a very nice movie that is released or a very nice cricket match and a person who is a movie buff or a cricket buff is now perfect weather, nice temperature, full vacation time, the best food you have in front of you, the person will enjoy it, right? Now, if you get some enjoyment, hundreds of millions of times more than that in Krishna, can you stay away from thinking about Krishna? No. It is very natural. Then you will go gradually to the stage of bhava. Vriksha was saying, from ruchi, it's very fast. Few months you can get to the next stage. But anartha nivritti बहुत time लगता है. तो कोई बोलते हैं अरे I'm fallen. Fallen किधर? अनर्था नृत्य में anyway आप fallen platform में हो. उधर से fall नहीं. गिर रहे. But that will take many years, many decades. So it may take 20-30 years. Prabhupada also in one place, I think Maharaj said that Prabhupada said 30 years somewhere. मुझे मिला to get so much taste. Again, Prabhupada is saying for हमें discourage नहीं लगे. अरे 20 साल से कर रहा हूँ फिर भी नहीं हुआ. काम कर रहे नहीं कर रहे. तो हो जाएगा in this lifetime. But Prabhupada also said that 100% Krishna conscious surrender. तो सब devotees बोले अरे 100%. Prabhupada बोले ठीक है 90%. 90% में भी कृष्ण बोले अरे 90% हमें SSLC में 90 में नहीं मिला था. ठीक है 80 में भी दुखी थे. Prabhupada बोले 70 इससे आगे नहीं.
कम नहीं होगा.
तो कृष्ण प्रेम का अगर 70 भी आ गए तो 70 भी इजी नहीं है. मेरा IIT में 40% ही नहीं मिला मुझे. इसका 70 बहुत मुश्किल है. बट प्रभुपाद है और बैकडोर एंट्री का की है प्रभुपाद जी के पास. So the more at least once a week, a few times a week we can in the morning get up and do, and we used to do. Now we have become little lax of morning Mangalarti.
Yeah, that's good actually.
Morning.
If we do some activities, that activity help us to actually more advance in because I heard like from Balaram Swami Maharaj during our festival in Chopati. He mentioned like devotees are taking out that petals, right? This one petals, only one petals, he mentioned like one petals who is actually taking out and actually just start working toward Krishna. They're not even devotee. They invite a lot of outside people. I mean, maximum Western people who actually attend this power festival. So that time they don't allow any Indians or any Bengali people during the power festival. So they always consider all Western people. elevate ourselves by the devotional service. So, as much we can engage ourselves, our senses with Krishna service, and memorize Harina, so this is whatever is mentioned, this happened.
And Prabhupada had come for his disciples, many of them when they were leaving their bodies. Actually, yesterday one devotee left his body, Prabhupada disciple, I forget his name.
Well,
Huh? I read it probably just today only, some post had come. A Western body, so he had taken sannyas from Prabhupada in 1970. And after a few years, he left being a sannyasi. He became a grihastha and Prabhupada still let him serve and everything. And he left his body in Vrindavan Dham, chanting the holy names, and went back to, of course, Vrindavan Dham. And I read that in 1978, when the cops came to arrest Jaipadaka Maharaj, right, he said, no, arrest me, it is me. We need Jaipadaka Maharaj for the expansion of Mayapur project. और वो अपने आप को हवाले कर दिया cops का, and he was in the prison for 6 months. Then later also he was for preaching and for some things. I didn't read the details, just I skimmed through, but my point I'm making is the surrender that these devotees had. It's easy for us to say, I'm Indian bodied, मेरा अच्छा job है, अच्छा घर है, अच्छा खाना मिलेगा, बाजू में मंदिर है, मतलब मेरा इतना स्ट्रगल नहीं है, मेरा स्ट्रगल है क्या 16 माला करना स्ट्रगल है। पहले डिवोटीज का क्या सरेंडर था, it is like unfathomable. We say, अरे प्रभुपाद आ जाएंगे, लेकर गए, yes. Sudama Maharaj, who was the previous husband of Chintamani Mataji, he went with Chintamani Mataji to Japan. Murugan Prabhu, Jagatarani Mataji, Chintamani Mataji, Sudama Prabhu, few went to Japan. But going to a different continent, giving the youth to Krishna, it takes guts. And Radhanath Maharaj said once in a class, very heavy, he said, don't judge them if somebody, अरे ये महाराज उसका पतन हो गया इधर, वो कुछ ही साल में जितना सेवा किए, आपका 100, 200, 500 साल में भी भक्त बन के भी इतना सेवा नहीं कर पाएंगे आप। तो ठीक है, there was some whatever reason, some desires, some situations, Maya is so powerful, and what they surrendered, Maya is there right next to them every minute. मेरे लिए इतना ही है, मेरे लिए माया अरे ठीक है, लगे रहो, मुन्ना भाई, जो भी लगे रहो, अद्वैत वाले, तो इतना बड़ा चीज नहीं कर रहे हैं। अब क्या दो like few devotees were discussing Krishna कथा, ठीक है, मेरा जब सेवा का टाइम आएगा, सुबह ऑफिस के पहले सेवा कर दिया, means the point is, I am not pushed myself. I am not saying that, okay, different situations in our life, we can do something. But we should look up to those devotees who are doing so much. And we should aspire that मेरा मन इतना कब लगेगा भगवान के ऊपर कि मुझे अंदर से और प्रोत्साहन मिले कि और करने के लिए. At least the desire should be there. And if there are some things that are keeping me away from bhakti, those habits should break. So that if you try,
no phone Ekadasi.
no phone, no phone Ekadashi. Yes.
So we should do one
Gaurang Prabhu recently released a phone. Advertisement कुछ में देख रहा था. Gaurang Prabhu flip phone. बटन फोन अभी भी रिलीज हुआ है. Just few days back, 2 days back, I spent few hours, my wife and I, talking to one couple, devotees, about their child. Nice devotee girl. Very nice devotee girl, chatting 16 rounds. Young teenager, but so much of problem because of technology, because of phone, because of school association. And even I have daughters, many of us have daughters, especially in this country, it is so much. So, and I was telling Mataji that seasoned devotees who are chanting for so many years only struggle with some things, right?
वही प्रभु जी थोड़ी देर पहले कहे ना कि मटेरियल चैंटिंग करो और मटेरियल चीजें से अटैच ना हो ना,
बोलना इजी है ना?
पॉसिबल इट्स फैमिली लाइफ में तो पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाता. वो मटेरियल से थोड़ा बहुत अटैच होना ही पड़ता है. जैसे बच्चा पढ़ ले, अच्छा एजुकेशन, अच्छे ग्रेड आए,
वो मटेरियल ठीक है. There are things जिधर हमें कृष्णा से दूर लेकर जाते हैं. एक्चुअली एक जब चैतन्य चरण प्रभु आए थे, प्रभु इसके बारे में बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट बोले थे. प्रभु इसको बोले कृष्णा उधर है, मैं इधर हूँ. ठीक है, इधर से अलग अलग डिजायर्स हो सकता है। मुझे कृष्णा का ड्रेसिंग करना है, उसका श्रृंगार करना है, वो है इधर का डिजायर, ठीक है। और कुछ डिजायर है, अरे मुझे हर दिन रात को सोने के पहले आधा घंटा शॉर्ट्स नहीं देखेंगे ना तो मजा नहीं आता है, नींद नहीं आता है। वो डिजायर है जो इधर लेकर जा रहे हैं मुझे, कृष्णा इधर है और इधर लेकर जा रहे हैं। और किसी को हो सकता है परस्त्री का संग या मांस मछली खाना, वो डिजायर उधर है। So that will take me there from Krishna. Some desires will be like, अरे क्रिकेट देखना मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, मैं मूवीज देखना छोड़ नहीं पा रहा हूँ, वो इधर लेकर जाते हैं, इधर से इधर, क्योंकि उधर का जो एसोसिएशन है and उसका जो वचन है, it imprints more in our hearts. Lust, violence, desires, मुझे भी वो हीरो बनना है उसके तरह, एक लड़की को एक दिन मुझे बचाना है। अगर बन रहा हो, because I am doing myself because मैं material वर्ड बोलेगा, बस तू बन जाओ, डिवोटी बनो, पर एक डिवोटी लड़की आएगी उसको बचाने के लिए और एक उधर से और कुछ करके मैं चले जाऊंगा। तो that is these desires. अभी कुछ desire है that will take me from here to here, which is मुझे मेरा बच्ची को अच्छा डिवोटी बनाना है, या उसको I have to make sure she's protected if she's outside somewhere, or I have to give her good education. Those things are not Krishna का ये नहीं है, but it is a desire which will take me towards Krishna only, and that is a not wrong desire. Because गृहस्थ में अगर मैं ब्रह्मचारी हूँ और मुझे वो है तब वो प्रॉब्लम है, right? तो it is not wrong. So when we say material desire, we are saying destructive material desire, not a constructive. कभी अगर घर भी नहीं है, मुझे एक घर बनाना है, वो एक डिजायर, ओके घर बना के भगवान को रखेंगे, सेवा करेंगे, पूजा करेंगे, सत्संग करेंगे। मेरे पास 3 घर है, मेरा चौथा घर चाहिए, वो इधर का हो गया। मुझे अम्मा नहीं
वो ऐसे बहुत दूर हो गया।
अगर वो यूज करेंगे इसके लिए इतना नहीं है, न्यूट्रल बोलूंगा।
Prabhupada mentioned actually in all lecture I have, like Prabhupada mentioned desire is there. We cannot say like we are desireless. We have zero desire. We have desire.
Correct.
We have to just
युक्त वैराग्य मुच्यते। How do you spiritualize it?
So that is actually how like I saw like when we went there celebration, and I'm like how both they are deciding verses. That is how we have to cultivate our generation. So if we are not holding Bhakti, how we can definitely they are practicing. So they are now अपने आप चले प्रभु, अपने आप चले प्रभु, सिखाना कोई
हमारा बच्चों प्योर डिवोटीज बनना है, हमें तो नहीं, हमें भी ये सब देखना है, तो वो नहीं होता।
मैंने एक अच्छा एग्जांपल सुना, कोई अगर ड्रिंक्स करता है तो दोस्त को ड्रिंक्स के लिए बुलाएगा, पता है ना, वो ड्रिंक्स कर रहा है तो बच्चे को बुलाएगा, दोस्त को बुलाएगा, चलो ड्रिंक्स के लिए। कोई अगर ड्रामा के लिए जा रहा है तो दोस्त को लेकर ड्रामा देखने के लिए। Then same friends, if someone Krishna's friend, so you can see the difference here. See friends, but their destination because of. So that's why actually their donation first will start from here. From home. Home means parents. So we have to practice and we have to hold our generation will learn. Prabhuji's example.
All of so many of us, Vrinda was so Krishna conscious, we could see all of so many of our friends. Oh, इतना Vrinda तो इधर ही सुन रही है,
अभी श्रेष्ठा सीख रही
श्रेष्ठा वही तो।
है and she is teaching. माता मम्मा ऐसे नहीं ऐसे है, this is the shloka.
I was seeing Shrestha and Tia and all of these kids in Sunday school में. So nicely they learn. पर उनके जो friends होता है ठीक है, मस्ती भी चाहिए, बिना मस्ती से थोड़ी होता है।
पर वो तो फन चाहिए.
इधर
आपको
मिशिगन का जो है ना,
संस्कार आपको लगा के रखना है। अगर संस्कार नहीं है तो धीरे धीरे वो
जाता रहेगा।
Krishna ki
Jai.
Thank you. Allowed me. Actually, my English is not good. I'm trying to.
Even mine is not good. I'm sorry. That's why I can't ask for
आजकल हमारे बच्चों के English बच्चे के सामने
बच्चों के सामने अपनी इंग्लिश बोलो
Forgive my father, he doesn't know English.